lovelies. Welcome to your full moon in Leo tarot reading. My name is Natasha. We are going to do a reading for the collective for this full moon in Leo happening on February 5th. I just got back from 7 days at the Tucson Gem Show, so if I look exhausted, that is why I am exhausted. And I can't make this up. I shuffled this deck before getting started, and I just noticed who's lurking at the bottom. It is the Strength card, the card of Leo. Perseverance, physical or mental, emotional strength over physical strength, taming the beast inside. You can see there's a lion on there. Again, I did not intend for that to happen. The Emperor lurking right behind. Card of Aries, heavy fire energy, heavy getting stuff done energy, working really hard, divine masculine. When I say masculine or feminine, I don't mean any gender, just the energies, but we're just going to get right on into it. I'm going to shuffle while I talk about the full moon in Leo a bit. But again, I already pre-shuffled these decks. I'm just going to shuffle a little more and see what cards come out. This is the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck because I figured we'd just go old school and use this traditional tarot deck. But it's the full moon in Leo on February 5th. Leo is a fire sign. Leo in the tarot rules the Strength card. Leo in the body rules the heart and the spine. And this full moon is all about transformation by fire, using the fire energy of Leo to melt some of the ice from this year. We had a rough start to the year, right? We had a bunch of planets in retrograde. The month of January was just like, what is happening? Finally, we have no planets in retrograde, and this full moon in Leo is going to help us melt some of the ice from this beginning of this year and actually get started on moving towards some goals. It's also, this fiery energy, this Leo energy is also about what lights you up inside, right? What lights your soul on fire, your heart on fire. Again, Leo rules the heart, leading with the heart. And we know full moons are about releasing. So releasing anything that is stopping you from following your heart, following your dreams, following your inner fire. Can maybe feel a little like trial by fire if you really feel stuck. Full moons are about releasing, and this is no different. Release what is keeping you stuck. And I would say a Leo full moon is going to be an intense one. I'm a Leo moon, so I'm very excited about this energy. But if you're very stuck, if you're very frozen, it might feel a little scary. I'm hearing like the feeling of when when you get into like a bath or a shower when you're like really cold and it almost feels like it's burning. That's kind of what's coming up for me. I don't know why. All right, we already have some cards flying out. I've been feeling this like chaos mode where you just like shuffle until the cards come out. I didn't used to do that, but for some reason it's been speaking to me recently. So that's what we are doing today. Can I get a couple more, please? And again, this is a collective reading, so if you made it here, congratulations, you're in the collective. Oh, who is that just flown out here? It is like my most favorite card in the deck, and also a card of Leo. So Leo is actually ruled by the sun, and there's the sun. Astrologically, Leo is ruled by the sun, and also, even though the Strength is the tarot card of Leo, the sun is also. We love to see the sun, the happiest, warmest, most abundant card in the deck. All right, let's see what we got here. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands with the Nine of Swords right behind it. I feel like this is kind of where we've been, right? You can see that Nine of Swords. This person is awake in the middle of the night, had a nightmare. Nine of Wands. This person is tired. We have been stressed. We have been a little bit burnt out. We have been staying up at night, stressing about stuff. Anxiety, stress, nightmares. I feel like this is where we have been, right? At the beginning of this year. Like I said, I feel like we feel very frozen in ice from the beginning of this year, from the start of this year, from all those planets being in retrograde. This is kind of what we're moving on from. So that feels good to me. Again, this is at the bottom of the deck. So this is the past. This is what we are moving away from. And we want to move away from this, right? We want to move away from the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands isn't necessarily, and I don't think there's any card that's bad. I don't even think the Nine of Swords necessarily is bad. It's stressful, for sure. The Nine of Wands is also kind of like a final stretch, a final countdown. I feel like this is kind of like the final this kind of full moon in Leo is like the final like melting of that ice to kind of get us moving. The first two cards that flew out together were the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Cups. The Ace of Swords is a new idea, a new way of thinking. Swords is intellect, mental energy. I feel like with the Knight of Cups, it's like a new way of thinking is going to allow yourself to fill your cup more. A message that has been coming up for me a lot lately is like, all work and no play, all work and no play, no work-life balance. You're working too much, you're stressing out too much. You know, you're kind of putting yourself in that burnout mode, that stress mode too much. You do not really have any play in your life, any kind of emotional fulfillment in your life. And it's going to take a new way of thinking to kind of get you to have that cup come in, to have that cup of like, my cup is full, right? I'm not just working all the time. I have a full cup. I have other things that fill my cup except for work. And I think it's going to take us a new way of thinking, a new way of going about it, a new idea. Writing has been coming up a lot lately for me, like journaling. In one of my favorite decks, the Ace of Swords is portrayed as like a sword with like a quill. Maybe you need to write, maybe you need to journal a little bit to kind of get to the bottom of how you can fill your cup. But the Knight is coming in, the Sword is coming in, like it is on the way. We also have the King of Cups, and you can see here in this card, he's like sitting in very rocky water, right? There's waves, but he is sitting on his throne in the waves, and he is kind of like chilling. The King of Cups can be a little emotionally numb because he's just kind of tuned everything out to just like vibe in the rocky waters. I feel like that's kind of been us, like while we've been going through all this nonsense, we've been like trying to just keep calm with all the rocky waters around us, keep it together, keep emotionally calm. And you can kind of see the Knight of Cups is like riding right into the King of Cups. I feel like we're getting the message to not be emotionally numb, to not try to just not have feelings when things around us are rocky, when things around us are happening. We do need to feel and we do need to process. And, you know, it's like, again, we can't have that full cup. We can't fill our own cups if we're not processing through things, if we're just like sitting there numb in like the ocean of chaos, just like, I'm gonna ignore everything. That's not working. That's not working. Don't do that. We need to get in touch with our feelings, right? The Empress. We had the Emperor earlier at the bottom of the deck. The Empress is here, divine counterpart. You can see there's the Venus symbol there. She is very luxurious. She has, her crown is actually all 12 zodiac signs. And the Empress is luxury, taking care of yourself, allowing yourself to be taken care of. Also creativity. This is the card of creation, right? It can be the card of pregnancy and birth, but not necessarily creation or birth just from like a pregnant way. It's also birthing something new into the world, birthing something that, you know, had you tap into your creative energy. I think that is truly where we're going to find our emotional fulfillment, and where we're going to be able to fill our own cup is from creating luxury, art, taking care of ourselves, nourishing ourselves, nurturing ourselves. But again, we have to be able to fill our own cup, and we have to have that new way of thinking. We have the Six of Swords here. You can see this person's getting on a boat and going somewhere else. Again, swords is the suit of the intellect, of the mind. This is mentally letting stuff go. This is mentally moving on, migrating, letting, you know, letting those retrogrades and all that icy, stagnant energy be in the past and moving on and going somewhere else. Could be maybe physically moving, but, you know, we've kind of put stuff behind us. We've put this Nine of Wands, this Nine of Swords behind us, and we're moving on. It's time to move on. If you came in here with a question of like, should I move on, shouldn't I? Yes, you should. That was maybe for someone specific. You should be moving on. If not physically, mentally moving on. Like, we got to stop with this King of Cups, like kind of emotionally numb energy. We got to move on in the brain. We got to move on physically, because what are you going right into is the Sun. Do you want to stay in this energy where you're just kind of like chilling by yourself, you know, the rocky waters around you? Or would you rather get out of those rocky waters, process your feelings, and move straight into the Sun? I would rather move straight into the sun. Maybe it's because I'm a Leo moon. Maybe it's because I live in the desert. I like the sun. Look at how happy this little baby is. Like, another thing that's very interesting here is notice that the sunflowers are facing towards us, right? Instead of facing towards the sun, which is what they do in nature. It's also this kind of vibe of you are the sun, right? You deserve to be and should be radiating this like happy, abundant energy. And I want that for you. And this is what we should be moving towards. And this is what we are moving towards. That makes me very happy. And who came out right after the sun? The Fool. A new journey. There's still some rocky waters behind him, right? But he is no longer ignoring it. He's no longer just sitting there like, la, la, la. Who's there? Oh, it's the sun. There's a little white doggy too. Reminds me of my little Jack. He's sitting under my chair right now. But very similar kind of energies, right? Moving forward, forward movement. The card of 2023 is the Chariot, rapid forward movement. And that's kind of what this is here. But you have to be willing to take that leap. You have to be willing to move on from those rocky waters, to process through, to move forward into the abundance, to move forward into a new journey. He's also holding like a white flower in his hand. I don't know. I love to look at like deep into the symbolism of the cards because you see something new every time. But this is the energy that we want, not that stuck, stagnant, again, that icy energy. I feel like the King of Cups is exactly what I was saying about like, have we been kind of frozen in ice at the beginning of this year? We're finally moving away from it. So that is the tarot part. Now I do have a couple of decks to clarify. I pulled out my Thoth tarot deck, which I like just because it is a traditional tarot deck. However, each card has descriptions on the bottom, kind of like words of like what they represent. So we're just going to get a couple from here. What else do we need to hear? What other clarification do we need? What does the collective need to hear for this full moon in Leo? Gain, the Nine of Discs or the Nine of Pentacles. We love to see it. This is abundance. This is growth. Very kind of a sister card to the Empress, I feel. The cards are very similar. Like if we look in the traditional deck, the Empress, the Nine of Pentacles kind of looks like the Empress. She's standing by herself. She's wearing this really luxurious robe. Wealth, abundance, independence. Right? Independence. You have all that wealth and abundance for yourself. You have grown that harvest for yourself. We have here also the Prince of Swords or the Knight of Swords. I like to call the Knight of Swords the lightning pony. And I mean, with these two cards together, we love to see it, right? That's wealth, independence, abundance, all that coming in really fast. Like the Knights are kind of like, can also be like how we kind of tell time. And this is coming in really, really, really fast. It's also a kind of single energy, which I know for me, I'm like, please no more. I would like to find a partner, but you know what? I'll take it if I'm single and independent, right? Can we get a couple more? But whatever it is, it's coming in fast. Maybe you've wanted to be single. You're kind of, you know, not like, you want to be independent, right? Change, Two of Pentacles, and Works, Three of Pentacles. A lot of Pentacles here. I kind of like that it says change and works. The Two of Pentacles is usually, and you can see it's kind of an infinity snake here, work-life balance, but it says change here on this card. So maybe some change is coming in as far as work goes. And then works, the Three of Pentacles is working with your friends. Building something with a community, building something with a support, specifically in the tangible, physical world, working together. I feel like you're going to find your work-life balance with working with other people. Maybe that means you need to ask for help. Maybe that means, like for me, I just hired an assistant to help me. It's like the Beatles song, I get by with little help from my friends vibes. And I think the work-life balance, I think the asking for help, asking for support is going to help us get to that gain, get to that Nine of Pentacles and help it come in even faster with that Prince of Swords. So that was just some clarification from the Thoth Tarot. Now I also have this Lunar Oracle deck. I mean, it is the full moon. Let's see who comes out. These cards are so big that I can barely hold them. Like, I have baby hands, so we're gonna do our best. I'm glad you can't see me shuffling because it would be embarrassing. All right, the one that immediately flew, there's two. I thought there was just one. All right, who are these cards? Both full moon cards. Your own best efforts are all that's necessary to progress. Your own best efforts are all that is necessary to progress. I think this is very Nine of Pentacles, giving your best effort, independent energy. You know, it's your best effort, right? It's not, you're not, what got us to this is working too hard, pushing ourselves too hard, burnout. Best efforts. Doesn't have to be like the hustle, the grind, the above and beyond. It can just be your best, and your best looks different every day. It's not going to be the same every day, and sometimes your best is laying on the couch and sleeping. And then we have another full moon card. Problems provide opportunities to grow and learn. You know, we don't love to see problems, obviously, and I don't really do toxic positivity, but when things come up, problems come up, yes, they can be opportunities. Yes, they can be opportunities for growth. I feel like that's kind of retrogrades in and of itself, is they present us with opportunities for growth, even though we hate them. And I feel like that's for sure what this past retrograde season was kind of giving us those opportunities. The wild card I pulled, confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Full moon and Leo vibes. Leo's, confidence, pride, power, personal power, inner fire. You can nurture that confidence. You can practice that confidence. You can master that confidence. I like to say fake it till you make it. And by that, I mean acting as if you were confident. So for example, my own body acceptance journey, the part of me that I used to struggle with the most was my stomach. And now if you see me, I'm always in a crop top. I'm wearing a crop top right now. You can't see it. But how did I do that? I literally wore a crop top every single day for a year. And I hated it at first. And I did not feel confident, but by the end of the year, I did not care. Confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. If you're like, Natasha, how do I get to the Nine of Pentacles? How do I get work-life balance? How do I step into the Sun? How do I step into the Empress, the Fool? Work on your confidence. Work on your personal power. That's pretty much it, my friends. I think that's all we got. I feel pretty good about it. I hope you feel pretty good about it. I do have a yoga class for this full moon in Leo as well. I have a membership here on YouTube with live yoga, live tarot, live new moon and full moon workshops. I have courses, I have retreats, I have it all. I'll put links to all my offerings in the description box below, and I hope you have a wonderful full moon.